Hey ladies, so I am so excited to be able to share with you all because I know each week I've been coming with to you sharing a little bit of some behind the scenes stories and being able to share a little bit more about my life. But I wanted to record a video for you because I went live on IG and IG wasn't letting me be great, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, if you're not following me on IG or we're not connected on LinkedIn, be sure to pause this, go do that at Dr. Lacey C. Robbins, and then come back and watch the rest of this. But I wanted to be able to share this with you to remind you that you are meant to be in the room. What do I mean exactly? Well, by now, hopefully, you know that my husband and I, we actually started a trucking business, a trucking and logistics business, May 2020. Yes, right in the middle of a pandemic. What were we thinking, right? Well, we were thinking, what can we do to do our part to help to generate jobs? But that's a story for another day. But within that, I serve as the president and CEO, and your girl is actually an owner of a trucking and logistics business. With that comes opportunities to be able to connect with other business owners. So a few weeks ago, I was just that. I was invited to an owners forum there at the Marriott Hotel. I was super humbled and excited and hyped to be one of the special few, selected by the corporation that we have our contract with, to be able to bring us in and answer questions and learn more about basically how we could streamline our business, how we could get ready for peak, what we could do to, route optimization, like all these things. So, I get there and I'm not going to dim my shine, right? I am a girly girl from the very beginning. So I have my, all black heels and carry my little Michael Kors bag. I'm ready for the day, right? And I already knew, like going into this, that I probably would be one of the few minorities, maybe one of the, only few women. Because if you don't know this, trucking and logistics is a very white male dominated business. It's a very white male dominated business. So stick with me, stick with me. So, I walk in, I sit my notebook down, and I immediately walk right back out. And I went to the ladies' room because I needed to take a moment to collect myself. Your girl, Dr. Lacey, had to get her mind right, okay? Because when I walked into the room, I literally felt like, oh my gosh, look around, look around. I don't see anyone else who looks like me. So fast forward in the ladies' room, and I, stepped in front of the mirror and I literally said to myself, you deserve to be here. You belong here. They called and invited you to be here. You have something to offer. You are made to be in this room. I mean, by the time I left hyping myself up, because sometimes you have to be like David and encourage yourself, I walked out of there like, okay, you got this. Come on, sis. Right? I not only felt so pumped, so inspired, I walked back in with my head high and my heels higher back into the room. I went into my instant work the room mode, right? And I'm shaking hands, I'm greeting people, I'm saying hello, I'm making my acquaintance and my presence known. And I also realized as I was doing that, that not only was I the only woman business owner in the room, I was also the only Black woman, period, in the room. I was the only Black woman in the room. There were two other women that were in the room, but they happened to be from the corporation. They were from the corporate office that we have our partnership with, and they were on the panel. That's the only reason why they were even there. But this is the amazing thing that my mind was just like blown, right? So as I'm just being me, doing my thing, walking the room, meeting people, it got to a point when other contractors were starting to come to me and introduce themselves to me. It also got to the point where people who were on the panel were coming to say hello and introduce themselves to me. And we were generating and having these intense conversations all around trucking and logistics. This is what God showed me in that very moment as I was standing outside, continuing the conversation with one of the corporate people who were there on the panel, and my car is waiting for me. And I say to him, I want to keep this conversation going. Let's, do you have a card? Let's continue it. He doesn't have a card and he says to me, I'm just going to give you my number right now. Let me pull it out and I'll give it to you directly so we can keep this conversation going. This is what I realized. So many times we can think to ourselves, I'm not supposed to be here, or I'm not meant to be in this room right now, or the only way I can get into this room is if somebody else opens the door for me. So many times opportunities are waiting for you to create them, right? The opportunities are waiting for you to create them. If we continue to sit back and wait for the opportunities to come to us, they may never come. Who would have thought that when we made the decision that we would start a trucking business, that our contract would be with $1 billion company? Who would have thought that, right? Well, clearly God would have thought it, because he knows the plans that he has for us. Plans that are good and not of evil. Plans to give us a future and a hope, right? So he knew exactly where he was directing us, where he wanted us to go, and why he would open this door. So who am I then to find myself in a space where he's opened a door to start to diminish myself? So what's my point in all of this? I want to remind you, sis, you too are meant to be in rooms that you might be shrinking yourself from, thinking you're not supposed to be there. Stop that. Stop shrinking yourself. And instead, I want you to bloom. I love the quote by Anais Nin, and I might be butchering it a little bit, but I also featured it in my dissertation as on the, like literally in the dedication page, in which it says, the time came where it was more uncomfortable, more difficult to remain in the bud than to bloom. Right? The time came where it was more uncomfortable to remain in the bud than to bloom. Are you in a place that's uncomfortable? Are you in a place where you should be blooming, but instead you are staying tightly in the bud, or maybe even shrinking? I want to encourage you to think about, what are some rooms that you can get involved in, some rooms that you can find yourself, some rooms that you can show up in? One room I want to invite you to is, do not forget that tickets are available for the Everyday Business Conference, October 16th, 2021. This year's theme is Learn, Launch, and Luxury. Learn, Launch, and Luxury, in which I'm going to be sharing with you just how we were able to secure our contract with this billion-dollar company, and what you can do to start going for bigger contracts, so that you can then find yourself having more time with your family, having more time to do what you want to do, more free time, more opportunities to travel, how you can start to add to your team. These are all things that have now come because we were able to secure this contract. And so I want to be able to pass those things on. It's not enough for me just to tell you. I have to teach you so that you too can do the same thing. So be sure someplace on this page to click a link and get your seat. Seats are available both in person as well as virtually. It's going to be a dynamic day and you don't want to miss it. Okay? So hit reply. Let me know. Am I going to see you there? If you have any questions, I'm your girl. I got you, right? And as I always say, from process to practice, grab your stilettos and let's go. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.